Beaches and trees, rivers and streets, people have captured footage of some of the most enormous animals surrounding us.
Whoa! Check this dude out!
From anacondas to massive gators. Hang on to watch the insane sizes of the animal kingdom that shocked the whole world.
My man.
A TV show host decided to explore the Amazon River. When he arrived, he saw a giant anaconda going into the river, so he went into the water to get a closer look. Surprisingly, it was much bigger than expected. It was so large that it had to swim properly to move from its tail to its head. It was 6.5 meters long, weighed 150 kilograms, and its head was almost as big as a human face. Luckily, this anaconda was a gentle giant. Otherwise, in their territory, it's rare for anyone to come so close and leave safely. Giant snake. A group of explorers were on an underwater expedition when they unexpectedly came across a massive snake swimming beneath the surface. They quickly grabbed their gear and jumped into the water to film this incredible creature. As they approached, they were struck by its seemingly never-ending tail. After measuring it, they determined it was about 18 feet long and weighed over 300 pounds. The size of the snake astonished the entire team, as they had never imagined they would encounter such a large creature in their lifetimes. Unexpected encounter. In a small town in Brazil, a postman was coming to deliver a letter to a house, but saw something that shocked him. There was a giant anaconda with half of its body inside the house and the other half outside. He had never seen such a big snake before. One thing is for sure, such giant snakes can commonly be found only in Brazil. Manhole resident. Last year, in Bonito, Brazil, when workers opened a hole for maintenance, they were stunned. There was a giant green anaconda resting, something they never expected to see there. It was almost 6 meters long and wasn't really bothered by anyone's presence. They were all observing it and then called the authorities to take it away. But before they arrived, the anaconda went somewhere else. I hope this gentle giant rested peacefully somewhere else without any disturbance. Massive sucuris. Heavy rain and flooding sometimes carry snakes from one place to another. A sucuris was spotted by a house owner in his backyard and water wells in rural Brazil. The house owner had livestock in his backyard, and these types of snakes prey on small livestock like chickens. But as you can see in the video, it was being relocated to the wild by experts because this apex predator is not only causing harm to the stock, but is also not safe for the residential areas. Anaconda on the street. Coming across a giant snake is one thing, but daring to get close to it is something only these people could do. They spotted a huge anaconda slithering on the side of the road and decided to approach it. I must say they were lucky to get this close, because snakes are known for their aggressive nature. A slight movement and they'll come for you. It looked like it was full as it didn't bother their existence. 20 feet river monster. In this video, there's a huge anaconda crossing the road. The driver, who was passing by a huge thing on the road, caught his attention. So, he got out of his car and filmed it. It seemed about 6 to 7 meters, which is more than the size of an average anaconda. While it's a rare sight to see, people living in the remote areas are quite used to it. They often spot snakes and other reptiles intruding in their territories. Anaconda in the desert. An anaconda is seen slithering into the desert, which is something that has never happened before, as these reptiles prefer marshy areas because they can hunt there more efficiently. Study even shows that they cannot survive in the desert. When animals are seen out of their natural habitat, their chances of survival decrease, which is why professionals often rescue snakes and release them back into their natural habitats. And they make sure that no snake is harmed during the operation. Colossal eel. A group of locals were enjoying their day by the river when they noticed a long tail on the shore. They hesitated to approach it, thinking it might be a snake, but as they got closer, they were surprised to discover it was not a snake at all. Instead, they saw that it had spots and resembled an eel. Further investigation confirmed that it was indeed an eel. Normally, the eels they encounter aren't that big. This one right here is an anomaly. An average eel is around 16 to 33 inches long, but this one is almost 6 meters long, which is a lot bigger. People even related it to the Great Abaya, a huge eel that is believed to inhabit the water. Lucky man. Whenever you go to the Amazon, be extra careful because you never know what might suddenly appear. This guy also went to explore the Amazon, but he wasn't careful at all. He jumped into the Amazon River, however. There was someone else with him in the water. If he had known, he would never have entered. A giant anaconda was calmly swimming right beneath him. He didn't notice it at the time, but when he saw the video his friend had recorded, he was terrified. This gentle giant was so huge, it could have easily swallowed him. Lucky guy for sure. Scary catch. Just imagine you're fishing in a river, and instead of a fish, a huge anaconda comes into your boat. What a panic situation that would be. But an old fisherman had the complete opposite experience. While he was fishing, a huge anaconda came into his boat, and this brave old man grabbed it as if it was just a normal pet. The giant anaconda was as big as his entire boat, and he calmly grabbed it by its mouth and observed it. Welcomed by serpent. A group of tourists were going to explore the woods, but at the beginning, they were welcomed by a huge serpent. It was a giant anaconda that suddenly appeared from the woods in front of them. It was probably trying to cross to the other side of the road, but stopped when it saw them. The tourists observed it for a while because they had never seen such a huge anaconda before. Then, it went back into the woods, after which they all realized that this exploration was going to be quite interesting. Scary encounter. This man had an experience while fishing that no one would ever want to go through. A huge gator was swimming near his boat, something he didn't know at first. But suddenly, he noticed it right in front of him. First, the gator slowly moved toward him and then disappeared under his boat at full speed. The scariest part was that he had no clue where the gator was under the boat or when it might have attacked. But luckily, the man got away safely and never went back to fish there again. Huge catch. In a small village in Indonesia, locals were very troubled because of a giant crocodile. It mostly stayed near the river, and whenever any cattle came close to the river, it would eat them. But then everyone decided to build a trap and catch the giant. Their plan worked, and it got trapped. Seeing it, everyone was shocked because they knew it was a big crocodile, but they never imagined it would be this huge. They informed the authorities, who later took the crocodile with them. Credit to the villagers' brave act, they can now live peacefully there. World oldest croc.
1903, making Henry more than 120 years old.
Meet Henry, the oldest living Nile crocodile in the world, and resides at the Croc World Conservation Center in Scottsburg, South Africa. He was born in 1900, making him well over 120 years old, and he weighs around 1,100 pounds. Standing at an impressive 5 meters in length, Henry has become a local legend and a major attraction at the center. Henry was brought to Croc World in 1985 when he was already 85 years old. Despite his size and age, Henry is known for his relatively gentle demeanor compared to other crocodiles, although he still displays the powerful behavior characteristic of Nile crocodiles. Henry's long life and history make him one of the most famous crocodiles in captivity, and his story attracts visitors from all over the world, curious to meet the grand old man of the reptile kingdom.
What a sound.
Snake monster. While exploring the woods, a group of experts stumbled upon something they had never expected. There was a carcass that was hard to identify at first. They realized it was from a mysterious giant snake. The scariest part was its head, which didn't look normal. It seemed as if it had eaten an animal in its last days, and part of that animal's body was sticking out of its mouth. But there are legends about snakes that, when they reach 100 years old, their bodies start to look like this. So it's not clear whether this was the head of some animal it ate, or if the snake's body had transformed after 100 years. Unidentified giant.
Sucurizona que eu passo na mão nela aqui, ó. Tamo a grossura da bicha aqui, ó.
After seeing this, I don't know what you would call this person, but I would say he's crazy. He was exploring the Amazon River when suddenly he saw a serpent coming toward him in the water. He thought it was just a normal anaconda, but it turned out to be something else. Its body wasn't fully visible, but no normal snake could be that long. It could be a river monster, or possibly the world's biggest anaconda. But touching such a huge giant so closely was not a good decision from anywhere. I would say he was very lucky. Biggest lizard. Meet the biggest lizard in the world, the Komodo dragon. It is the largest living species of lizard, native to a few islands in Indonesia, including Komodo, Rinca, and Flores. It can grow up to 3 meters long and weigh around 150 pounds. Komodo dragons are powerful predators, mainly eating large animals like deer and wild boar, but they are also known to scavenge. They have strong jaws and sharp teeth, and their saliva contains bacteria that can cause infection in their prey. These lizards are also good swimmers and can move quickly when needed. Monster croc. Last year in Mexico, a man was walking across a bridge when he suddenly looked down and noticed something strange in the river. At first, he thought it might be a big snake, but when he looked closely, he was shocked. It was a monster-sized crocodile, unbelievably huge, casually swimming there. Another surprising thing happened. When this man went to the other side of the bridge to observe it more, the crocodile disappeared. This made the scene even more mysterious, and the man kept wondering if this might have been the river's monster. Scary turtle.
Whoa! Check this dude out!
If you think this is a sci-fi movie character, you're wrong. Let me tell you about it. It is a snapping turtle, a large freshwater turtle known for its powerful jaws and aggressive nature when threatened. Native to North America, it's primarily found in ponds, rivers, and marshes, where it spends most of its time lurking in the water. There are two main species, the common snapping turtle and the larger alligator snapping turtle, the latter being one of the heaviest freshwater turtles in the world. Snapping turtle is easily recognized by its rough, ridged shells, strong claws, and long, spiked tails. It will fiercely defend themselves if approached or disturbed on land, but in water, they tend to be more reclusive.
Check this dude out! That's a snapping turtle, alligator snapping turtle!
Oldest tortoises. In July 2021, Juliet, a woman known for her love and care for animals, was seen feeding giant Aldabra tortoises at a conservation park. These tortoises are among the largest in the world. They are found mainly on the Aldabra Atoll in the Seychelles, though smaller groups live in places like Mauritius and Rodrigues. They are herbivores, feeding on grasses, leaves, fruits, and sometimes small insects. They are some of the longest living animals on Earth, with some living over 200 years. Despite their size, they move slowly and spend much of their time resting in shaded areas or cool water. Giant turtle.
Man, it's an over 200 pounder right here.
This guy was researching turtles, but in 2017, he caught a giant one in Mexico. When he went into the river, there was a huge snapping turtle. If you don't know about it, let me tell you. It lives in freshwater, like lakes, rivers, and ponds. It has a rough, bumpy shell, which helps protect it. It is mostly dark in color, with a big head and a long tail. This turtle is called snapping because when it feels threatened, it quickly snaps its jaws to defend itself. It is slow on land, but in water, it is a great swimmer. A snapping turtle can live for many years, sometimes over 30 years. I would say catching a 200 turtle like that was not easy at all, but still, this guy managed to catch it. Giant serpent. A group of experts were returning after exploring the Amazon River when they suddenly spotted something unusual in the water. At first, they thought it might be a normal snake, but when it became fully visible, they were shocked. It was so giant, like a monster snake calmly swimming through the water. They observed it from a distance, luckily as it was quite far from them. Just Amazon things, I would say. Giant croc. Back in 2017, a tourist in Australia was fishing when something unexpected happened. A short distance away, he spotted something in the water, but he couldn't clearly see what it was. When he looked closer, he was shocked to see a giant crocodile moving through the water. This was completely unexpected, since no crocodile had ever been spotted in that river before. The giant crocodile calmly went into the water, leaving the tourist shocked. Maybe next time, this man will double-check before fishing in any river. Mexican beach creature.
Tiene boca como la gente y dos cuernos.
We often see things on the beach that make us think there is a lot of unusual stuff in the sea. A man came to walk on the beach, and suddenly he saw a strange carcass. At first, it seemed like a strange fish, but when he looked closely, he realized it couldn't be a normal marine animal. It had horns on its head, and its whole body was damaged. It looked like a sea monster. The man observed it for a while, and then left the site.
Tiene boca como la gente y dos cuernos.
Monster snake. Brazil is known for having giant and scary species, and a man specially came there to see them. While he was exploring the woods, he didn't find anything unusual or giant, but on his way back, something unbelievable was in front of him. A giant snake was standing there, and it looked like it had a neck similar to a brachiosaurus. It was giant and unusual in a way that completely shocked him. He observed it from a distance for a while and then left, which I would say was the right decision. Creepy creature. A man was exploring the woods, and everything seemed normal, but suddenly he felt a strange movement around him. Out of nowhere, a strange creature appeared in front of him, and its whole body was almost transparent. Seeing its tiger-like shape, giant wings, and unusual face, the man was terribly scared. He immediately recorded a video of it and shared it online, after which people gave different opinions about it. Some believed it was an out-of-this-world creature that came through some portal, while others thought it was the result of a scientist's experiment. Strange bird. An expert was exploring the woods when something unusual happened. He felt some movement around him, and suddenly, a strange bird appeared in front of him. At first, he thought it was a kiwi bird, but when it lifted its neck and moved a bit, the expert realized it was something else entirely. It looked like a mix of the extinct dodo bird and a kiwi. He observed it for a long time, but when he had no idea what it was, he left. Maybe it was some scientist's experiment to bring the dodo back. Scary encounter. While going camping in the woods, a man saw something which looked like it came straight out of a sci-fi movie. It was a giant with a scary face, long legs, long arms, with dark skin casually moving around. He was terrified when he saw it and immediately ran away. But I did some research on it for you and found out that it was a man inside a costume of a sci-fi movie. Swamp mystery. A man was passing by a swamp when he saw a strange creature. It appeared to be a combination of a lizard and an alligator, with shimmering scales reflecting the light. Even more surprising was its ability to glide effortlessly across the water, moving like a snake. The creature slithered steadily across the surface before vanishing, leaving behind only a ripple. The man couldn't help but wonder if this hybrid creature had escaped from a lab and found a peaceful refuge in the swamp's murky waters. Wrong call. A man was passing by the woods late at night when he suddenly heard some strange noises. It was one of the moments where he should have ignored the noises and left, but he didn't. Curious, he went into the woods to find out where the sound was coming from. Then, what was expected happened. In front of him, on a tree, was the scariest creature he had ever seen, looking like it had come straight from hell. He immediately ran away from there and never returned to that place again. Creature from hell. A young YouTuber known for exploring abandoned places at night ventures into a forest near a city park, armed with a camera and flashlight. During his exploration, he hears unsettling noises that heighten his fear. As he tries to return to the park, he encounters something terrifying, though the video ends abruptly before revealing what he saw. Days later, authorities find his recordings while investigating his mysterious disappearance. The footage has sparked speculation among viewers, with some believing that demons abducted him and now dwell in a hellish realm. Vicious teeth creature. A man was passing by a river when he saw something strange lying lifeless at the shore. The creature had the face of a crocodile, and its vicious, sharp teeth were protruding from its mouth, while its body resembled that of an ordinary fish. Curious, he picked up a stick and poked it, but as soon as he checked to see if it was alive, it slipped back into the water. He posted the clip online, and many speculated that it was a failed science experiment that had been released into the waters for sinister purposes. Feral people. This strange footage was recorded by a security camera. At first, it seemed normal, as the two figures appeared to be monkeys trying to climb a wall. However, as the video continued, it became stranger. The creatures stood up on their legs and increasingly resembled humans, but it was difficult to determine whether they were monkeys or humans, because they were completely black. Additionally, they climbed trees as if they were monkeys. Many suggested that they could be feral people navigating their way in the darkness. Mystery creature. This mystery creature baffled onlookers when it was spotted swimming through a river in Singapore. The bizarre animal appeared to have a fin, tail, and large mouth with whiskers when it was spotted in the Gaylung River. It was swimming in the murky waters, which is why locals were unable to recognize the creature. Some even suggested that it might be a crossbreed between a crocodile and catfish, and then it was released into the water. What are your thoughts about this theory? Gentle giant. A group of experts went to explore the Amazon, and on day one, they had an encounter with a giant. They were all setting up their cameras when suddenly they saw a giant anaconda by the riverbank, which had recently eaten a capybara. While observing it, they saw it move, and an expert standing in the water had it pass close to him. They were knee-deep in mud, so they couldn't follow it further. But from its fat belly, they could tell that it was probably going to find a peaceful place to sit and digest its meal. Oh my God. Sea monster. Back in 2017, off the coast of Indonesia, locals saw something that completely changed their beliefs. They saw a huge carcass there that didn't look like any normal marine animal. It had no clear shape, was as big as a whale, and looked like it could belong to some kind of monster. Everyone there was making different guesses about it. Some thought it was a sign from nature, while others believed it could be a monster that might harm them. But now, they are safe.
Ini adalah paus jenis bungkuk dengan panjang 28.
Giant spider. While exploring the woods, a group of tourists saw something they never imagined they would see. There was a giant spider on the tree that didn't look like any normal spider from anywhere. They were traveling in their tourist car and couldn't stop to see it, which I would say was better for them. It looked like it could be the result of a scientist's experiment, or maybe a monster spider. Surprisingly, it was never seen again, which I believe is a good thing. Muscular kangaroo.
Those are strong arms.
Oh! A muscular kangaroo was seen in Texas and became famous after a video shared by Jay Brewer went viral. The kangaroo looked very strong, especially in its arms and chest, which made many people on social media joke about how it looked like a bodybuilder. Some even said it could knock out Mike Tyson. Kangaroos are naturally strong animals because they use their powerful legs for hopping and fighting. Male kangaroos often fight to show who is the strongest, and this helps them get muscles. Their diet, mainly grass and leaves, also supports their muscle growth.
Man, you are a big kangaroo. Ooh.
Fighter kangaroo.
Oh my god. Oh gee.
Recently, a tourist was going to explore the woods in Australia, but suddenly, something appeared in front of him that he hadn't expected at all. A huge, muscular kangaroo appeared, almost 2.74 meters tall, probably the biggest ever seen. As we all know, kangaroos are famous for their fighting skills, so the tourist decided it was safer not to go any closer. I wish he had gone closer. Who knows? We might have gotten to see a classic match.
Oh, in front of me, I'm scared.
Giant blob monster. A man was camping in the woods in Texas, but to get water, he went to the nearest river. Suddenly, he saw a strange black object rise from the water, and it turned into a huge blob-like monster, looking like venom. It was slowly moving toward the woods, and seeing this, the man quickly realized that camping here was no longer possible. He left immediately, but what it actually was could never be figured out. Mysterious creature. A hiker was coming back from the track when he saw an abandoned house. He thought of resting there for a while, but as soon as he got close to the house, something unexpected happened. A giant spider-like creature appeared on the roof of the house, and it was as scary as a character from a sci-fi movie. The man felt that there must be some scientific experiments happening in that house, so he quickly left the site, which I would say was the right decision. Mysterious ball creature. A video was uploaded to social media from an unknown source, completely puzzling everyone who saw it. A giant ball-like creature can be seen rolling on the road. It looked like the ball was made of some kind of ropes or tentacles. Everyone had different opinions about it. Some believed it was an out-of-this-world creature, while others thought it might be the result of a scientist's experiment. But honestly, no one had an exact answer about what it really was. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments. Running giant. A man was driving on the highway, looking at the nearby mountains, when suddenly he saw something completely unexpected. He stopped his car to take a closer look, and there was a giant Bigfoot running. It was a scene that he wouldn't have believed if he hadn't seen it himself. No one knows why the giant Bigfoot was running there, but it must have lived somewhere nearby. This mystery might never be solved, perhaps. And now, let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day. A group of workers were doing the cleaning in the woods with the help of crane. They had just started their work when suddenly, something unexpected happened. When the worker lifted the crane, a giant snake was inside it along with the mud. The snake was so huge that even after lifting it, both ends of it were almost touching the ground. Seeing this, the workers were shocked, and they lowered the lifter a little, after which the snake went back into the woods. But after all this, one thing was for sure. In the woods, you never know what might appear next.